There is something happening in your body right now that most people will never know about. Not in your mind, not in your emotions, not even in your muscles or your bones. In your tendons, those quiet, dense, almost overlooked connective tissues that bind your skeleton to your movement, that hold your joints together, that have been working without recognition or applause every single day of your life. Right now, in this moment, your tendons are listening. They are waiting. And tonight, if you understand what I'm about to show you, they are going to receive a signal that changes everything about how they age, how they feel, and how they carry your light through the world. Your aura is not separate from your body. This is something most people misunderstand when they begin exploring their energy field. They imagine the aura as something floating above the physical, something ethereal and disconnected from the dense matter of tissue and bone. But the truth is far more extraordinary than that. Your electromagnetic field, the measurable, scientifically documented energy that radiates from your heart, your nervous system, your cellular matrix, is generated by your biology. It is the light your living systems produce. And when those living systems are coherent, when they are vibrating at their natural frequency, when they are regenerating rather than degenerating, your aura strengthens, clarifies, and expands, which means your tendons are part of your radiance. I want you to sit with that for a moment. Your tendons, those humble, fibrous, extraordinarily intelligent structures, they are part of the light you broadcast. And tonight, I'm going to show you exactly how to activate what researchers have begun calling the youth code, the biological signaling cascade that tells your tendons to regenerate, to rebuild, to return to the supple, strong, energized state that is their natural birthright. And as that regeneration begins, something else begins too. Your field clarifies. Your signal strengthens. The frequency you broadcast to the quantum field shifts towards something more coherent, more powerful, more unmistakably you. You won't get a second chance at tonight. This moment, right now, is when your tendons are most receptive to the signals you're about to learn to send them. Not tomorrow, not after you've thought about it for a week. Tonight, because there is a biological window, a quantum window, a window in your own regenerative intelligence that is open right now. And what you do in the next hours determines whether that window leads somewhere extraordinary or closes quietly while you sleep. Let me show you what your tendons have been trying to tell you. Your tendons are among the most electrically active tissues in your body. This surprises most people because tendons have a reputation for being inert, for being slow to heal, for being the stubborn connective tissue that takes forever to recover from injury. And it's true that tendons have a lower blood supply than muscles. It's true that their healing timeline is longer. But this reputation for inertness is based on a misunderstanding of what tendons actually are and how they actually communicate. Here is what the science shows. Tendons are composed primarily of collagen fibers, specifically type 1 collagen, arranged in a hierarchical, brilliantly organized structure. These fibers are not passive. They are piezoelectric. That word, piezoelectric, is one of the most important words you will encounter in understanding your body's relationship to energy and light. Piezoelectric means that when these fibers are mechanically stressed, when they are compressed or stretched or loaded, they generate an electrical charge. They produce a measurable electromagnetic signal. Your tendons are biological generators of electrical energy. Every step you take, every movement you make, every contraction of every muscle that pulls against those tendon fibers, you are generating electricity in your connective tissue. You are, quite literally, lighting yourself up from the inside. The HeartMath Institute has documented the electromagnetic field of the heart extending several feet beyond the body. But the electrical activity of your entire musculoskeletal system, including the piezoelectric signals generated by your tendons, your bones, your fascia, contributes to the broader electromagnetic signature that is your aura. Your living, moving, breathing body is a field generator, and your tendons are part of that generation. Now here is where it gets extraordinary. The cells that live within your tendons, called tenocytes, are not just structural workers maintaining the collagen matrix. They are signal receivers and signal senders. They respond to electrical fields. They respond to mechanical loading. They respond to the biochemical messages that travel through your bloodstream. And they respond to something that researchers are only beginning to understand fully: the coherent or incoherent state of your body's overall electromagnetic environment. When your body's field is coherent, when your heart rate variability is high, when your nervous system is in a state of regulated calm, when your cells are communicating clearly with each other, your tenocytes receive the signals for regeneration. They activate the pathways that produce new collagen, that repair micro damage, that restore the youthful architecture of the tendon itself. When your body's field is incoherent, when you are in chronic stress, when your nervous system is dysregulated, when the signals your cells are sending each other are fragmented and contradictory, your tenocytes receive a different message. They slow their regenerative work. They shift into a kind of maintenance mode at best, a degenerative mode at worst. The collagen they produce becomes less organized. The cross-links that give tendons their strength become irregular. The tissue ages faster than it needs to. This is not metaphor. This is cellular biology, and it is directly connected to the frequency you are broadcasting. Let me show you something about your field right now. Close your eyes for a moment, if you can, or simply soften your gaze and bring your attention inward. I want you to feel the quality of energy in your body right now, not in your thoughts, in your body, in the places where your tendons live. The back of your heel, where your Achilles tendon anchors your calf muscles to your foot. The front of your knee, where your patellar tendon bridges your quadriceps to your shin. The rotator cuff tendons in your shoulder. The tendons in your hands and wrists. The tendons running up and down your spine. These are not small, insignificant structures. They are the living cables of your movement, and they are alive with electrical potential right now. What do they feel like? Heavy? Light? Tight? Open? Warm? Cool? Whatever you feel, that is information. That is your body communicating the current state of its tendon field. Most people have never been asked to feel their tendons before. Most people have never directed conscious attention to these structures. But attention, genuine, warm, sustained attention, is itself a form of signal. When you bring your awareness to your tendons, you are beginning to send them a message that they have been waiting for. Your light is already on. It has always been on. But right now, together, we are going to turn the brightness up in a way that your tendons and your aura have been asking for. What we're exploring today is one layer of something much larger. If you want the complete map of how your signal works and how to return it to coherence, I've written something for you called the Remembering Field, a quantum guide to returning to the light you forgot you were carrying, which walks you through all 7 movements from unconscious broadcast to conscious, coherent radiance, grounded in the quantum mechanics of your actual electromagnetic field. It's linked in the pinned comment below. If this transmission is already speaking to something in you, take a moment to like this video and subscribe so we can keep exploring this together. There is so much more of this to share with you. There is a story I want to tell you. It is the story of a woman named Miriam. Miriam was 63 years old, and she had spent the last decade quietly surrendering to what she called the architecture of getting old. Not dramatically, not with despair, just with a kind of resigned acceptance that had settled into her body like sediment settling to the bottom of a still lake. Her knees ached when she walked downstairs. Her shoulders had grown stiff and reluctant. The Achilles tendons that had once carried her through decades of morning walks had become tight and complaining, so that her first steps each morning felt like walking on cables that needed loosening before they would cooperate. She had seen doctors. She had done physical therapy. She had taken anti-inflammatory medications that dulled the ache, but never addressed what was underneath it. She had been told, gently and with clinical kindness, that this was normal, that this was what tendons did as they aged, that the collagen cross-links became less organized, that the water content of the tissue decreased, that the tenocytes became less active, that the blood supply diminished. She had been given a detailed and accurate description of tendon aging, and it had been presented to her as a sentence, as something that was happening to her, not something she had any relationship with. What no one had told Miriam, what almost no one tells anyone, is that the sentence is not final. That the biology of tendon aging, while real, is profoundly responsive. That the tenocytes in her tendons, the cells that build and maintain the collagen matrix, were not gone. They were quiet. They were waiting. They were listening for a signal that would tell them to wake up and do what they were always designed to do: regenerate. Miriam found that signal not in a doctor's office, but in a moment of stillness. She had started sitting quietly in the mornings, not meditating in any formal sense, just sitting with her hands in her lap and her eyes closed, breathing slowly before the day began its demands. She had started this practice not for her tendons, but for her mind, which had been running at a pace that exhausted her. But something unexpected began to happen. After about 3 weeks of these morning stillnesses, she noticed that her knees felt different when she stood up. Not dramatically, not miraculously, just different. A quality of ease that hadn't been there before. A slight reduction in the morning stiffness that had become so familiar she'd stopped noticing it until it began to ease. She mentioned it to a friend who happened to be a researcher in connective tissue biology. And what her friend told her changed everything Miriam understood about her own body. Her friend explained that in those moments of stillness, Miriam was doing something measurable to her body's electromagnetic environment. She was activating her parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and restore branch that governs cellular repair. She was increasing her heart rate variability, which is the primary indicator of the coherent electromagnetic state that signals cells to regenerate rather than maintain. She was reducing cortisol, the stress hormone that directly inhibits the tenocyte activity responsible for collagen production. And she was, quite possibly, doing something even more fundamental. She was allowing the piezoelectric potential of her tendon fibers to express itself more fully. Because a relaxed, coherent body generates cleaner electromagnetic signals through its connective tissue than a tense, incoherent one. Miriam hadn't been healing her tendons by thinking about them. She had been healing them by changing the electromagnetic environment in which they lived, by shifting the frequency of her own field from the incoherent, stress-saturated signal of chronic tension to the coherent, regenerative signal of conscious stillness. She had activated her youth code, not with a supplement, not with a procedure, with her own field. This is what I want you to understand about your tendons tonight. They are not waiting for something outside of you to heal them. They are waiting for you to change the signal. Now let me go deeper into the science of what that signal actually is and how you activate it consciously. The youth code, the phrase we are using tonight to describe the biological cascade that activates tendon regeneration, is not a single thing. It is a convergence of several biological signals that, when they occur together, create the conditions in which your tenocytes wake up and begin the extraordinary work of rebuilding your connective tissue architecture. Let me walk you through each of these signals, because understanding them is the first step to consciously generating them. The first signal is mechanical loading. This is the most fundamental and well-documented activator of tenocyte activity. When tendons are loaded, when they experience the controlled mechanical stress of appropriate movement, they respond by producing new collagen. This is called mechanotransduction, the conversion of mechanical forces into biological signals. The piezoelectric charge generated by collagen fibers under load stimulates the tenocytes to upregulate their collagen synthesis. This is why complete rest is almost never the best prescription for tendon issues. Tendons need to be loaded to regenerate. But the loading must be appropriate, not excessive, not absent, but precisely calibrated to stimulate without overwhelming. The specific type of loading that research has consistently shown to be most effective for tendon regeneration is eccentric loading, movement in which the muscle and tendon lengthen under tension rather than shorten. The classic example is a heel drop for the Achilles tendon. Standing on a step, rising on both feet, then lowering slowly on one foot. The slow lowering phase is the eccentric component, and it generates the precise mechanical signal that wakes tenocytes up and tells them to build. Research from Håkan Alfredsson and his colleagues at Umeå University in Sweden showed that this type of loading protocol could reverse tendinopathy, the degenerative change in tendon structure, in a significant percentage of patients who had been told they needed surgery. Your tendons can be rebuilt. The signal exists. You just need to send it. The second signal is collagen precursor availability. Tenocytes cannot build collagen without the raw materials to do so. The primary precursors are the amino acids glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline, which form the triple helix structure of collagen molecules. Vitamin C is essential for the hydroxylation of proline, the chemical modification that allows collagen fibers to form properly. Without adequate vitamin C, collagen synthesis is impaired, which is why scurvy, the classic vitamin C deficiency disease, is characterized by connective tissue breakdown. Your tendons need the molecular building blocks to respond to the signals they receive. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition by Keith Barr and his colleagues at the University of California, Davis, showed something remarkable. Consuming gelatin or collagen, peptides along with vitamin C approximately 1 hour before exercise significantly increased the collagen synthesis markers in the blood and, by extension, in the connective tissues being loaded during that exercise. The timing matters. The combination matters. This is not supplementation as a passive background activity. This is targeted biochemical signaling, timed to the moment when your tendons are most receptive to the building message. The third signal, and this is where the quantum field comes in most directly, is the coherent electromagnetic environment generated by a regulated nervous system. I want to spend time here because this is the layer that most conventional tendon rehabilitation misses entirely. And it is the layer that connects your tendon health directly to the frequency of your aura. When your nervous system is in a state of chronic sympathetic activation, the fight or flight state that most modern humans inhabit as their baseline, your body is running a biological program that prioritizes immediate survival over long-term repair. Cortisol and adrenaline are elevated. Blood is directed away from peripheral tissues and toward the large muscles that would help you fight or flee. Inflammatory pathways are upregulated. The cellular repair processes that require calm and resources, including collagen synthesis in tendons, are downregulated. In this state, your tendons age faster, not because aging is inevitable, but because the biological environment of chronic stress is one that accelerates the degenerative processes and suppresses the regenerative ones. The tenocytes receive the message: this is not a safe time to rebuild. This is a time to survive. But when your nervous system shifts into coherent parasympathetic dominance, the state of regulated calm, of heart coherence, of what the HeartMath Institute calls the coherent heart rhythm pattern, everything changes at the cellular level. Anti-inflammatory cytokines increase. Growth factors like IGF-1, which directly stimulate tenocyte activity, become more available. The electrical environment of your connective tissue becomes cleaner, more coherent, more conducive to the organized collagen production that constitutes tendon regeneration. Your heart's electromagnetic field, which the HeartMath Institute has documented as extending up to several feet beyond your body, is the primary generator of this coherent biological environment. When your heart is in coherence, it broadcasts a signal that every cell in your body receives, and tenocytes, like all cells, respond to that signal. This is the quantum layer of tendon regeneration. This is why Miriam's morning stillness worked. This is why the practices I'm going to give you tonight are not just physical exercises, but field activation protocols. Because when you change the frequency of your heart's broadcast, you change the electromagnetic environment of every tendon in your body simultaneously. Feel your field right now. Notice what's radiating. Whatever you feel, whatever quality of energy is present in your body in this moment, that is the current signal your tendons are living in. And in a few minutes, we are going to consciously shift that signal. But first, let me show you something about the fourth signal, the one that most people have never heard of, and that may be the most exciting discovery in connective tissue biology in the last decade. It is called the circadian regeneration window. Your tendons, like virtually every tissue in your body, operate on a circadian rhythm, a biological clock that cycles through approximately 24 hours and governs when different cellular processes are active. Research from the laboratory of Ching Jun Mao at the University of Manchester, and from other chronobiology researchers, has shown that collagen synthesis in tendons peaks at specific times of the circadian cycle, and that this peak corresponds to a window of maximum tenocyte responsiveness to the signals that activate regeneration. This circadian window is not fixed at the same clock time for everyone. It is anchored to your personal biological rhythm, to when you sleep and when you wake, to the light signals your eyes receive, and the temperature fluctuations your body experiences. But for most people, following a relatively natural light-dark cycle, the window of peak tendon regeneration occurs in the hours surrounding sleep onset, the period beginning approximately 1 to 2 hours before you fall asleep, and continuing through the first few hours of deep sleep. This is why tonight matters. Right now, in the hours you are moving towards sleep, your tendons are entering their most regenerative window. The tenocytes are preparing to upregulate their collagen synthesis activity. The biological machinery of tendon repair is warming up. And what you do in these hours, the signals you send your tendons through movement, through nutrition, through the electromagnetic coherence of your field, will be received with maximum sensitivity. You won't get a second chance at tonight. Not because tomorrow is too late, but because tonight is when the window is open. Tonight is when your tendons are listening most intently. Tonight is when the youth code is most ready to be activated. And I am going to show you exactly how to activate it. Let me give you the first radiance practice of tonight. I call this the tendon coherence activation, and it works on all 3 levels simultaneously: the mechanical signal, the biochemical environment, and the electromagnetic field of your body. Begin by finding a comfortable position, either standing if you are able, or sitting with your feet flat on the floor. Take a moment to arrive fully in your body. Not in your thoughts about your body, not in your assessments or judgments of your body, but in the felt sense of your body as a living, radiating field of energy. Take 3 slow breaths. With each exhale, let your body become heavier, more settled, more present. Let the weight of your thoughts drop away. Let the concerns of the day become distant. You are here, in your body, in this moment. That is all that is required. Now bring your attention to your heart, not as an organ pumping blood, though it is doing that beautifully, but as the electromagnetic center of your field. The Heart Math Institute's research has shown that intentionally generating a feeling of appreciation or love in the heart area produces a measurable shift in the heart's electromagnetic output, moving it from an incoherent, irregular pattern to a coherent, smooth, wave-like pattern. This coherent pattern is the signal that every cell in your body receives and responds to. So generate that feeling now. Think of something, anything, that genuinely moves you toward warmth. A person you love, a place that makes you feel at home in the world, a moment of beauty that you have witnessed, a memory that makes your chest expand rather than contract. It doesn't need to be profound. It just needs to be real. A cup of tea that was exactly right. The sound of rain. The weight of an animal in your lap. The moment a child laughed. Find the feeling, not the thought. Let it settle in your chest. Feel that warmth. That is your heart coherence activating. That is your electromagnetic field shifting from incoherent noise to coherent signal. And every tenocyte in every tendon in your body is receiving that shift right now. Hold that feeling for a full minute. Just breathe and hold the warmth and let your heart broadcast its coherent signal through your entire connective tissue matrix. You are sending your tendons a message. It is safe to rebuild. The environment is right. Begin. Now we add the mechanical signal. If you are standing, slowly rise onto the balls of your feet, lifting your heels off the ground. Hold that position for 3 seconds. Feel the engagement in your calf tendons, your Achilles, the tendons of your feet. Then, slowly and with full control, lower your heels back to the ground. Take 5 full seconds for the lowering. This slow, controlled lowering is the eccentric loading that activates tenocyte collagen synthesis. Do this 10 times, slowly, with full attention. With the heart coherence you have just generated as the background field. If you are seated, you can perform a modified version. From seated, slowly extend one leg until it is straight. Hold for 3 seconds, then slowly lower it back to the starting position over 5 seconds. 10 times on each leg. The quadriceps tendon, the patellar tendon, the hip flexor tendons, all of them are receiving the mechanical signal. As you do this, keep the warmth in your chest. Keep the heart coherence active. You are combining the mechanical signal with the electromagnetic signal. And the research suggests that this combination is more powerful than either alone. You are not just loading your tendons. You are loading them inside a coherent field. You are sending the youth code. Breathe. Move slowly. Feel your tendons responding. They are. Right now, at the cellular level, tenocytes are receiving the signal. The cascade is beginning. When you have completed the movement, return to stillness. Take 3 more slow breaths. Feel the quality of energy in your tendons now. Notice if anything has shifted, even slightly, even subtly. That shift is real. That is your field responding to the conscious signal you have just sent. Your light is on. Your tendons are listening. The youth code is activating. Now let me take you deeper into the quantum mechanics of what just happened. When you generated heart coherence and combined it with the mechanical loading of your tendons, you activated something that goes beyond conventional biology into the territory that quantum biology is only beginning to map. I want to be precise here, because this channel is committed to grounding everything in the actual science, not in wishful thinking, but in the real, measurable, documented phenomena that reveal just how extraordinary your biology actually is. Quantum biology is the study of quantum mechanical phenomena occurring in living systems. It is a young field, but it has already produced findings that have shaken the foundations of how we understand life. Quantum effects have been documented in photosynthesis, in avian navigation, in enzyme catalysis, and in the olfactory system's ability to distinguish molecular structures. The living world operates at the quantum level in ways that classical biology could not explain. Your connective tissue is a quantum system. The collagen fibers of your tendons are not just mechanical cables. They are quantum antennae. The triple helix structure of collagen creates a molecular geometry that has been shown to support quantum coherence, the ability of quantum states to persist long enough to influence biological processes. Research published in journals, including the Journal of Theoretical Biology, has proposed that the ordered water molecules that permeate the collagen matrix of connective tissue may support quantum coherent states that allow information to propagate through the tissue at speeds and with a fidelity that cannot be explained by classical diffusion alone. What this means, in terms you can feel in your body, is this: your tendons are not just structural. They are information systems. They carry signals, including the signals from your heart's electromagnetic field, through a quantum medium. When your heart broadcasts coherence. That coherence propagates through your connective tissue matrix via quantum mechanical pathways that are faster and more comprehensive than any nervous system signal. Your entire tendon network receives the message simultaneously. This is why heart coherence works so quickly. This is why Miriam felt a change in her knees within weeks of beginning her morning stillness practice. This is why the practices I am giving you tonight will have effects that begin tonight, not after months of rehabilitation, but in the hours of sleep that follow your activation of the youth code. Your body is a quantum system. Your tendons are quantum antennae. Your heart is a quantum broadcaster, and when these systems align, when you bring them into coherent resonance, the regenerative intelligence of your biology has a clear channel through which to work. Let me tell you about something called the Tensegrity model of the body, because it will change how you understand your tendon's relationship to your entire energy field. Tensegrity is an architectural principle developed by the engineer Buckminster Fuller, describing structures that maintain their integrity through a balance of tension and compression, where no element is in direct contact with others, but the whole is held together by the continuous tension of cables and the discontinuous compression of struts. The biologist Donald Ingber at Harvard University proposed that cells and the body as a whole are organized on tensegrity principles. And this model has since been enormously productive in understanding how mechanical forces are transmitted through living systems. In the tensegrity model of the body, your tendons, fascia, ligaments, and connective tissues form a continuous tensional network that spans your entire body. This network is not a collection of separate structures. It is a single, continuous, body-wide web of mechanically and electrically connected tissue. When one part of this network is loaded or stressed, the mechanical information propagates through the entire network. When one part of this network generates a piezoelectric signal, that signal propagates through the entire network. This means that when you perform the heel drop exercise I gave you, the mechanical signal is not confined to your Achilles tendon. It propagates through the fascial tendon network of your entire body. Your shoulder tendons receive a signal. Your wrist tendons receive a signal. Your spinal tendons receive a signal. The entire network is activated by the loading of a single part. And when your heart generates a coherent electromagnetic field, that field propagates through this same tensegrity network, through the piezoelectric collagen fibers that constitute your entire connective tissue matrix, reaching every tenocyte in your body simultaneously. You are not a collection of separate parts. You are a unified field. And your tendons are the connective tissue of that field, literally and energetically. Feel your field right now. Feel the web of connection that runs through your entire body. The continuous tension that holds you upright, that allows you to move, that connects every part of you to every other part. That is not just anatomy. That is your body's quantum communication network. And tonight, you are learning to broadcast consciously through it. Now, I want to address something that I know some of you are feeling as you listen. There is a part of you that is hopeful, genuinely, quietly hopeful, and a part of you that is cautious, the part that has heard promises before, the part that has tried things and not seen the results that were promised, the part that has learned to protect itself from disappointment by holding its hope at arm's length. I see that part of you, and I want to speak directly to it. The youth code is not a promise of overnight transformation. The biology of tendon regeneration is real and it is powerful, but it operates on a timeline that is measured in weeks and months, not hours. The circadian window I described, the window that is open tonight, is not a one-time event. It opens every night. What you do tonight begins a process. What you do tomorrow night continues it. What you do consistently over the next 4 to 12 weeks is when you begin to feel the unmistakable difference in how your tendons carry you through the world. But here is what is also true. The shift in your field begins tonight. The change in the electromagnetic environment that your tenocytes are living in begins the moment you activate heart coherence. The mechanical signal that wakes your tenocytes up and tells them to begin producing collagen begins the moment you perform the first eccentric loading movement. The biochemical cascade that makes collagen precursors available to your tendons begins the moment you consume the right nutrition at the right time. Tonight is not the end. Tonight is the beginning, and beginnings matter more than anything else, because without a beginning, nothing else follows. Your tendons have been waiting for this beginning. They have been waiting, perhaps for years, for the signal that says, "We are rebuilding now." The environment is right. The materials are here. The field is coherent. Begin. Tonight, you send that signal. Let me give you the second practice of tonight. This one works specifically on the biochemical layer, the collagen precursor availability that your tenocytes need to respond to the mechanical and electromagnetic signals you are sending them. In the hour before you sleep tonight, I want you to prepare what I am going to call the Youth Code Elixir. This is not a complex supplement protocol. It is a simple, research-backed combination of nutrients that your tendons need right now. You need glycine. Glycine is the most abundant amino acid in collagen. It constitutes approximately 1/3 of every collagen molecule. It is conditionally essential, meaning that under conditions of high demand, like the tendon regeneration you are initiating tonight, your body cannot produce enough of it and needs to receive it from dietary sources. Gelatin is the richest food source of glycine. Bone broth is another excellent source. Collagen. Peptides, which are hydrolyzed collagen proteins that have been broken down into easily absorbed amino acids, are a highly bioavailable source that research has shown to significantly increase collagen synthesis markers when consumed before loading exercise. You need vitamin C. As I mentioned earlier, vitamin C is essential for the hydroxylation of proline in collagen synthesis. Without adequate vitamin C, your tenocytes cannot properly assemble the triple helix structure of collagen, even if all other conditions are right. The research by Keith Barr's group showed that consuming 15 grams of gelatin with vitamin C approximately 1 hour before loading exercise produced a 2-fold increase in collagen synthesis markers compared to placebo. The vitamin C dose used in that research was approximately 200 milligrams, easily achieved from a small glass of citrus juice or a vitamin C supplement. So tonight, in the hour before sleep, you are going to prepare a warm drink that combines collagen peptides or gelatin with vitamin C. You can add it to warm water, to herbal tea, to warm lemon water. The warmth is not required by the biochemistry, but it is invited by the ritual. Because ritual, as we will explore in a moment, is itself a signal. It is a way of telling your body, with your actions, that something intentional is beginning. As you prepare and consume this drink, I want you to do something that may seem unusual. I want you to hold the intention of what you are doing, not as a vague hope, but as a clear, felt knowing. This is feeding my tendons. These molecules are going to my connective tissue. My tenocytes are going to receive these building blocks and use them to rebuild. Hold that intention, not in your mind, but in your body, Feel it as a warmth, a purposefulness, a directedness. Because intention, as quantum biology is beginning to show, is not just a psychological state. It is a physiological state. It changes the biochemical environment in which your cells operate. The act of conscious, intentional nourishment is itself a signal. It shifts your nervous system toward the parasympathetic state that enables regeneration. It reduces cortisol. It increases the growth factors that stimulate tenocyte activity. It changes your field. Drink slowly. Feel the warmth. Know what you are doing. You are feeding the youth code. Now let me go deeper into something that I think is the most profound layer of tonight's transmission. Something that connects your tendon health to your aura in a way that will change how you understand both. There is a concept in quantum field theory called the zero-point field. It is the lowest possible energy state of a quantum mechanical system. And unlike classical physics, which would predict that this state contains no energy, quantum mechanics shows that even at absolute zero, there is a residual, irreducible energy that permeates all of space. This zero-point field is not empty. It is a seething ocean of quantum fluctuations, a background of energy and information that permeates all of physical reality. Some quantum biologists and biophysicists, including Fritz Albert Popp, who discovered the phenomenon of biophoton emission from living cells, and Maiwan Ho, whose work on quantum coherence in living systems was groundbreaking, have proposed that living organisms are not just embedded in the zero-point field, but are in active, dynamic exchange with it. That the coherent electromagnetic fields generated by living systems, including the heart's field, the biophoton emissions of cells, the piezoelectric signals of connective tissue, are part of a larger conversation between the organism and the quantum field that underlies all of physical reality. This is what your aura is, at its most fundamental level. It is the measurable signature of your participation in the quantum field. It is the electromagnetic expression of your body's coherence or incoherence, your regenerative vitality or degenerative decline, your conscious signal or your unconscious noise. And your tendons, those humble, overlooked, extraordinary structures, are part of that signature. When your tendons are healthy, when they are actively regenerating, when the collagen fibers are organized, and the piezoelectric signals are clean and coherent, they contribute to the overall electromagnetic coherence of your body. They strengthen your field. They add to the luminosity of your aura. When your tendons are degenerating, when the collagen architecture is disordered, when chronic inflammation has disrupted the tenocyte activity, when the mechanical signals have been absent for too long, that incoherence is reflected in your field, not as a moral failing, not as a spiritual deficiency, but as a measurable reduction in the electromagnetic coherence of your connective tissue matrix. Your aura becomes less clear. The signal you broadcast to the quantum field becomes more fragmented. This is not about judgment. This is about understanding the profound interconnection between your physical biology and your energetic reality. Your body is your field. Your field is your body. There is no separation. And when you activate the youth code in your tendons, when you begin the process of regeneration that we are initiating tonight, you are not just improving your physical health. You are clarifying your signal. You are strengthening your broadcast. You are becoming more luminous in the most literal, measurable, electromagnetic sense of that word. Your tendons are part of your light. Let me tell you about a second character in tonight's story. His name is Elias. Elias was 47 years old, and he had been a runner for most of his adult life. Not a competitive runner, a private one. Running was the practice through which he processed his thoughts, maintained his sanity, connected with his body. It was, in many ways, the most important relationship in his life, and he had never thought of it that way until it was threatened. His Achilles tendons had been complaining for 2 years. Not dramatically, not a rupture, not a sudden acute injury, but the slow, insidious, morning stiffness and occasional sharp pain pattern of Achilles tendinopathy. His physiotherapist had given him exercises. His doctor had recommended rest. He had tried both, and neither had resolved the problem. The tendons would improve slightly, then worsen again when he returned to running. He had entered a cycle of hope and disappointment that had begun to color not just his relationship with running, but his relationship with his body in general. He had started to feel old. Not in his mind, not in his spirit, but in his body, in the specific daily experience of a body that was not responding to his wishes, that was not healing as it should, that seemed to be moving in a direction he couldn't reverse. What Elias didn't know, what no one had told him, was that his tendons were not failing to respond to the signals for regeneration. They were failing to receive them. The signals were being blocked by the chronic stress response that had become his baseline. He was a high-performing professional, running a team, managing complexity, carrying responsibility. His nervous system had been in sympathetic overdrive for years. Cortisol was chronically elevated. The anti-inflammatory, pro-regenerative biochemical environment that his tenocytes needed was not present. He was sending his tendons the wrong signal. Not consciously. He didn't know he was doing it. He was simply living in the electromagnetic environment of chronic stress. And his tendons were living in it too. The turning point came when Elias discovered heart rate variability training. He had come to it through a performance coach who used it with athletes, and he had initially engaged with it purely as a performance optimization tool, a way to recover faster, to train harder, to squeeze more out of his body. But what happened surprised him. Within 3 weeks of practicing the heart coherence techniques that the HeartMath Institute had developed, the simple but profound practice of generating positive emotion in the heart area while breathing slowly and rhythmically, Elias noticed that his Achilles tendons felt different. The morning stiffness was reducing. The occasional sharp pain was becoming less frequent. He was sleeping better, and he was waking with a quality of physical ease that he hadn't experienced in years. He went back to his physiotherapist, who confirmed what he was feeling. There was measurable improvement in the tissue quality of his tendons on ultrasound imaging. The disorganized, thickened, hypoechoic appearance of tendinopathy was beginning to resolve. The tissue was becoming more organized, more like healthy tendon architecture. His physiotherapist was puzzled. The exercises alone hadn't done this. The rest alone hadn't done this. What had changed? Elias knew. He had changed his field. He had shifted from the incoherent, stress-saturated, electromagnetic environment of chronic sympathetic activation to the coherent, regenerative electromagnetic environment of heart coherence. And his tenocytes had responded. He had activated his youth code, not by fixing his tendons from the outside, but by changing the field they were living in. This is what I want you to take from Elias's story. The youth code is not something that is done to you. It is something that you activate through the quality of your field, through the coherence of your electromagnetic broadcast, through the conscious signals you send to the living intelligence of your connective tissue. You are the activator. You have always been the activator. You just needed to know it. Now let me give you the third practice of tonight. This one works at the level of the quantum field, at the level of the electromagnetic broadcast that your heart generates and that your tendons receive. I call this the youth code transmission. Find your stillness again. Wherever you are, whatever position you are in, let your body settle and your breath slow. 3 breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Let each exhale release a little more tension, a little more holding, a little more of the day's accumulated noise. Now bring your attention to your heart. Generate the feeling of warmth, of appreciation, of love, of the simple, profound gladness of being alive in a body that is trying its best for you. Feel that warmth expanding in your chest. Let it grow with each breath. From that place of heart coherence, I want you to direct your attention, your warm, coherent, radiant attention to your tendons. Not to any specific tendon, but to all of them simultaneously. To the entire connective tissue web of your body. To the Achilles tendons that anchor your movement to the earth. To the patellar tendons that power your steps. To the rotator cuff tendons that allow your arms to reach and carry. To the tendons of your hands that allow you to hold and create. To the tendons along your spine that allow you to stand upright, to be upright, to face the world with your full height. Feel them all. Feel the web. Feel the continuous body-spanning network of collagen and piezoelectric potential that is your connective tissue matrix. And now send them a message, not in words, in frequency, in the felt sense of your heart's coherent broadcast. The message is simply this: I see you. I am here. It is time to rebuild. Hold that transmission for 5 full minutes. Breathe. Stay in your heart. Let the coherent signal of your warmth and your intention move through your connective tissue web. Let it reach every tenocyte. Let it change the electromagnetic environment in which they are working. This is not imagination. This is quantum biology. The electromagnetic field of your coherent heart is reaching your tendons. The signal is being received. The youth code is activating. You may feel warmth in specific areas of your body as you do this. You may feel tingling or pulsing or a sense of aliveness in places that have felt quiet or numb. This is your body responding to the signal. This is your connective tissue waking up to the coherent broadcast of your heart. Stay with it. 5 minutes. The most important 5 minutes your tendons have had in a long time. When you complete the transmission, take 3 more slow breaths. Let the feeling integrate. Let the signal settle. You have just sent your tendons a message that will continue to propagate through your connective tissue matrix as you sleep tonight. The tenocytes will be working while you rest. The collagen synthesis will be upregulated. the youth code will be running. Your light is on. Your tendons are rebuilding. The code is activated. Now I want to address the community of people who are watching this tonight and feeling something specific. The ache of having been disconnected from your body. The grief, perhaps, of having ignored your connective tissue for so long that it has begun to speak loudly in the language of pain. The frustration of having tried to heal and not succeeded. The quiet despair of feeling that your body is working against you. I want you to know something. Your tendons are not working against you. They never were. They have been trying to communicate with you through stiffness, through pain, through the morning reluctance that says, "Please, give me what I need." Pain is not punishment. Pain is information. It is your connective tissue's way of saying, the environment is wrong. The signals are missing. Help me. Tonight, you are beginning to help. Tonight, you are beginning to send the signals that have been missing. And your tendons, those patient, resilient, extraordinarily intelligent structures, are going to respond. Not all at once, not overnight, but they are going to respond, because that is what they are designed to do. They are designed to regenerate. They are designed to rebuild. They are designed to carry you through decades of movement and life with strength and ease. That design is still there. The blueprint has not been lost. It has just been waiting for the right conditions. You are creating those conditions tonight. I want to ask you something. In the comments below this video, I want you to share one word, just one word, that describes how you want to feel in your body. Not how you feel right now, but how you want to feel. The quality of physical aliveness that you are calling toward you with the activation of your youth code. One word. Fluid. Strong. Light. Supple. Free. Alive. Whatever word resonates with the body you are building toward, share it. Because when you declare that word in this community, you are broadcasting it to the quantum field. You are making it real in the electromagnetic sense. You are generating the frequency of that word in your body, and your tendons are receiving it. Words are not just symbols. They are generators of physiological states. The word you choose tonight will activate a felt sense in your body that is itself a signal to your tenocytes. Choose it carefully, choose it truly. And share it below. And while you're there, I'd love to hear about your own field. Has there been a moment when you felt your energy shift in a room? When people around you responded differently to your presence? When you felt something in your body light up in a way you couldn't quite explain? Share that in the comments too. These experiences are real. They are valid. And reading them strengthens something in all of us who are learning to trust what we feel. This community is a field. When we broadcast together, when hundreds or thousands of people are simultaneously generating the frequency of their desired physical vitality, the combined field is something that quantum physics would recognize as coherent resonance. We amplify each other. We strengthen each other's signal. We are not just individuals watching a video. We are a coherent field of conscious regenerators, activating our youth codes together. That is real. That is quantum. That is the power of what we are doing here. Now let me take you into the deeper layer of aura mechanics that connects everything we have explored tonight into a single, unified understanding. The aura, your personal electromagnetic field, is not a static thing. It is not a fixed halo that you were born with and carry unchanged through your life. It is a dynamic, responsive, moment-to-moment expression of the coherence or incoherence of your entire biological system. It fluctuates with your emotional state. It shifts with your nervous system's activation level. It changes with the quality of your sleep, the food you eat, the movements you make, the thoughts you hold, the company you keep. But there is a deeper layer of your aura that is more stable than these fluctuations. It is what we might call your baseline field, the characteristic frequency that your electromagnetic system returns to when external influences are removed. This baseline field is shaped by your chronic physiological patterns, your habitual nervous system state, your chronic inflammatory or anti-inflammatory status, the overall coherence of your connective tissue matrix, the quality of your heart's electromagnetic output over time. Your tendons are part of what shapes your baseline field. Not the only part. Your heart coherence, your nervous system regulation, your cellular health all contribute. But your connective tissue matrix is the physical substrate through which your heart's electromagnetic signal propagates to reach every cell in your body. When that substrate is healthy, when the collagen fibers are organized, when the piezoelectric potential is high, when the tenocytes are active and the tissue is regenerating, the propagation of your heart's coherent signal is enhanced. Your baseline field becomes stronger, cleaner, more coherent. When your connective tissue is in a state of degeneration, when the collagen architecture is disordered, when chronic inflammation has compromised the tissue quality, when the piezoelectric potential is diminished, the propagation of your heart's signal is impaired. Your baseline field becomes weaker, more fragmented, less coherent. This is the quantum connection between tendon health and aura strength. Not a metaphorical connection, not a spiritual one, but a measurable, mechanical, electromagnetic one. Healthy tendons strengthen your aura. A strong aura, a coherent electromagnetic field, supports tendon health. They are in a feedback loop, and you can enter that loop from either direction. Tonight, we have entered it from both directions simultaneously. We have worked on the tendons directly through mechanical loading and nutritional support, and we have worked on the field directly through heart coherence activation. Both pathways reinforce each other. The loop is running. The youth code is active. Here is what happens as this process continues over days and weeks. As your tenocytes respond to the signals you are sending them and begin producing more organized collagen, the piezoelectric potential of your connective tissue increases. The electrical signals generated by your tendons under load become cleaner and more coherent. Your body's overall electromagnetic coherence improves. Your heart's field propagates more effectively through your connective tissue matrix. Your baseline aura strengthens. And as your baseline aura strengthens, the environment in which your tenocytes are working becomes more coherent, more regenerative, more supportive of continued collagen synthesis. The loop accelerates. The regeneration deepens. The light gets brighter. This is the quantum mechanics of the youth code. This is why activating tendon regeneration is not just a physical health practice. It is a field activation practice. It is a radiance practice. It is a practice that changes not just how your body feels, but what your body broadcasts to the world. What you radiate, reality assembles around. When you radiate the coherent electromagnetic signature of a body that is regenerating, a body in which the youth code is running, in which the connective tissue is rebuilding, in which the field is strengthening, you broadcast a frequency that the quantum field reads as vitality, as aliveness, as the unmistakable signal of a being who is growing rather than declining. And reality responds to that signal. This is not wishful thinking. This is quantum resonance. The frequency you broadcast determines what can reach you. A coherent, vital, regenerative field attracts coherent, vital, regenerative experiences. The quality of your aura is the quality of your antenna. It determines what signals from the quantum field you can receive. When your tendons are healthy and your field is coherent, you receive signals of vitality, of opportunity, of connection, of the kind of life that matches the frequency of your most alive self. When your tendons are degenerating and your field is fragmented, you receive signals that match the frequency of decline. The experiences, relationships, and circumstances that confirm the story of a body and a life that are diminishing. The youth code is not just about your tendons. It is about the frequency of your entire life. Activate it. Let me give you the integration principle for tonight. This is the understanding that I want you to carry forward from this transmission into your days and nights, into the practice that you are beginning. The integration principle is this: every movement is a signal. Every step you take, every time you rise from a chair, every time you reach for something, every time you climb a stair or walk across a room, you are sending a mechanical signal through your tendon network. That signal is either regenerative or degenerative, depending on its quality. Slow, controlled, conscious movement that loads your tendons with appropriate tension and releases them with appropriate ease, is regenerative. Rapid, unconscious, habitual movement that loads your tendons with impact and releases them with no attention is less regenerative, and in some cases, actively degenerative. This does not mean you need to move slowly through your entire day. It means that you can bring moments of conscious, regenerative movement into your day. Small practices that send the youth code signal to your tendons throughout the waking hours. A slow, controlled descent of a staircase. A mindful heel drop while waiting for the kettle to boil. A moment of standing on one foot while brushing your teeth. Feeling the engagement in your ankle and Achilles tendons. A slow, deliberate rise from sitting that loads your quadriceps and patellar tendons eccentrically. These micro practices are not just physical. They are field practices. Each one is a moment of conscious embodiment, a moment in which you are present in your body, sending coherent signals to your connective tissue, contributing to the cumulative regenerative process of the youth code. And each one is a moment in which your aura brightens slightly. Because conscious embodiment, the act of being fully present in your physical field, is itself a form of field coherence. When you are fully in your body, your electromagnetic field is more organized, more coherent, more powerful. When you are dissociated from your body, lost in thought, disconnected from physical sensation, running on autopilot, your field fragments. Come back to your body. Come back to your tendons. Come back to the felt sense of the connective tissue web that holds you together and carries you through the world. That return, again and again throughout your day, is the practice. That return is the youth code. That return is the radiance practice. Every movement is a signal. Make it conscious. Make it regenerative. Make it light. Now let me speak to you about something that I know is present in this moment. As you approach the end of this transmission and the beginning of your night, there is a part of you that is wondering whether you will actually do the practices, whether the momentum of this moment will carry into tomorrow and the day after, whether this will be another thing you learned about and didn't sustain. I want to speak to that part of you with complete honesty. The practices I have given you tonight are simple. They are not demanding. They do not require equipment or gym memberships or significant time. They require minutes, and they require the quality of attention that you have been demonstrating throughout this entire transmission by simply being here, by listening, by engaging with your own body and field in the ways I have invited. You already have what it takes to do this. You demonstrated that tonight. The question is not whether you are capable. The question is whether you will remember in the days ahead what your tendons are asking for. Whether you will remember the circadian window and use it. Whether you will remember to prepare your youth code elixir in the hour before sleep. Whether you will remember to bring heart coherence to your mechanical loading practice. Here is what I suggest. Tonight, before you sleep, write one sentence. Not a goal, not a plan, not a commitment. Just one sentence that captures what you understood tonight about your tendons and your field. Something like, my tendons are listening, and I know how to speak to them. Or, the youth code is running in my connective tissue tonight. Or simply, I am rebuilding. Write it somewhere you will see it tomorrow morning. Because tomorrow morning, when you take your first steps and feel the quality of your tendons as they carry you out of sleep and into the day, you will have a context for what you are feeling. You will know that the process has begun. You will know that the tenocytes have been working while you slept. You will know that the collagen synthesis has been upregulated, you will know that the youth code ran through the night. And that knowing will make tomorrow's practice easier, and the practice after that, and the one after that, until the practices are not practices anymore, but simply the way you live in your body, consciously, regeneratively, radiantly. Your light is on. Your tendons are rebuilding. The youth code is activated. Let me give you the fourth and final practice of tonight. This one is for the threshold of sleep, for the liminal space between waking and dreaming that is, as we have explored, the most powerful window for tendon regeneration. As you lie down tonight, I want you to spend 5 minutes in what I call the Regeneration broadcast. Lie on your back if possible, with your body fully supported and your limbs slightly apart from your body. Let every muscle release. Let your connective tissue rest in its natural resting length. Let your tendons decompress. Take 3 slow breaths. With each exhale, feel your body becoming heavier, more surrendered, more completely at rest. Now activate your heart coherence. Generate the warmth. Find the feeling. Let it expand. From that place of warmth, broadcast a single intention through your entire body. Rebuild. Not urgently, not desperately, not as a demand, but as a warm, clear, certain invitation. Rebuild. The environment is right. The materials are here. The field is coherent. Rebuild. Feel that intention moving through your connective tissue web, through your Achilles tendons, through your patellar tendons, through your shoulder tendons, through your spinal tendons, through the tendons of your hands and feet, through every collagen fiber in your body. The intention is not a thought. It is a frequency. It is a signal. And your tenocytes are receiving it. Hold this broadcast for 5 minutes. Breathe slowly. Stay in your heart. Let the warmth carry the signal. Let the signal do its work. And then let go. Release the intention. Trust the process. Trust your body's intelligence. Trust the youth code that is now running in your connective tissue. Sleep. Let your body do what it knows how to do. Let the tenocytes build while you rest. Let the collagen fibers organize while you dream. Let the youth code run through the night. Tomorrow, you will wake with tendons that have been working on your behalf for hours. Tendons that have received the signal and responded. Tendons that are, incrementally but genuinely, more organized, more vital, more alive. This is not a fantasy. This is biology. This is the quantum mechanics of your own regenerative intelligence. This is your youth code, activated by your own field, running in your own body tonight. You are a radiant field of quantum energy. Your aura is not separate from your biology. It is the electromagnetic expression of your biology's coherence. And tonight, you have done something extraordinary. You have consciously aligned your field, your movement, your nutrition, and your intention to send your tendons the signal they have been waiting for. This is what conscious radiance looks like in the physical body. Not just the light you broadcast outward to the world, but the light you broadcast inward to your own cells. The coherent, warm, regenerative signal that says, I see you. I am here. It is time to rebuild. Your tendons have heard that signal tonight. They are responding. And as they respond, as the collagen fibers become more organized, as the piezoelectric potential of your connective tissue increases, as the electromagnetic coherence of your body strengthens, your aura will change. Not dramatically, not overnight, but measurably, genuinely, in the direction of greater luminosity. The signal you broadcast to the quantum field will become cleaner, stronger, more coherent, and the quantum field will respond by assembling reality around that signal, the reality of a body that is vital and strong, of a life that matches the frequency of your most alive and radiant self. What you radiate, reality assembles around. Tonight, you have radiated the youth code. Tonight, you have broadcast the signal of regeneration, of vitality, of a body and a field that are growing rather than declining. That signal is in the quantum field now. It cannot be unbroadcast. It is real, and it is working, and it will continue to work as you sleep, and as you wake, and as you carry these practices forward into the days ahead. You won't get a second chance at tonight, but you don't need one. Tonight was enough. Tonight was the beginning, and beginnings, as I said earlier, are everything. Your aura is active. Your tendons are rebuilding. Your light is conscious. Your signal is clear. You are a radiant field of quantum energy. And now you know it. If this transmission moves through you in a way that feels worth passing on, if it gave someone you love a new way of understanding what their body has been trying to tell them, consider returning to it in the morning stillness, when your field is freshest and most receptive. or in the quiet before sleep, when the regeneration window is open and every signal lands deepest. And if you know someone whose tendons have been speaking to them, someone who has been told that what they feel is simply aging, share this with them. That act of sharing is itself a ripple of radiance. It activates another person's awareness of their own field. And in that resonance, both auras strengthen. The collective luminosity grows every time one light reminds another that it is on. In the comments below, share your one word, the word that describes how you want to feel in your body as your youth code activates. Share it for yourself, and share it for the person who will read it and feel their own word awaken in their chest. We are a field. We amplify each other. Your word matters. And if you want to go deeper, if you want to explore the full quantum mechanics of your aura and how every aspect of your biology contributes to the frequency you broadcast, stay with this channel. There is more to show you. About your fascia and its role in your electromagnetic field. About the biophotons your cells emit and what they broadcast to the world. About the quantum coherence of your nervous system and how to strengthen it. About the full spectrum of your personal energy field and how to activate every layer of it consciously. You have been radiating your whole life, and most of it you never chose. Tonight, that changed. Welcome to your own light. Welcome to your youth code. Welcome to the extraordinary, measurable, quantum mechanical reality of your radiant body. Shine. Not because you should, because that's what you are. Your light is on. It has always been on. And tonight, you saw it.